Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm learning about important dates throughout history. Would you like to be one of them? I figured the subject matter constitutes a date. So since my pickup line worked, let's chat. In the words of the great philosopher Forrest Gump, I am not a smart man, but I know what love is. But do I? Can I actually grasp the concept of love? Can you? In today's video, I'm going to outline what I know about love and express what I feel about love at this moment. So won't you come along on a date with me? In this country, we generally have one definition of love, but in the eyes of the ancient Greeks, there were up to 7 types. I'm going to outline these, but also add an 8th of my own just for good measure. Number 1, philia. Philia is often defined as the love between friends. It is the understanding and trust of another that makes philia possible. Though in America we often wouldn't define this as love, it very much is. You trust that Fred, your fellow coworker, will do his job that allows you to do yours. But you wouldn't necessarily say that you love Fred. As a man, it is also very hard to express this without it being seen as an attack on your sexuality, to put it lightly. This is far easier to express in relationships that have been built over time, and this is very much involved in romantic relationships. If you have been with your partner or even coworker through thick and thin, you have likely developed philia with them. Number 2, storge. Very closely tied to philia is storge. It can be defined as the love of your family. Nobody bats an eye when you tell your mom that you love her. With that one sentence, you are saying thank you for working 3 jobs and cooking every night so you never went hungry. Thanks, Mom. Even that crazy sister of yours that makes terrible choices and never thinks the same as you has a bit of storge. The term blood is thicker than water comes to mind when I think of storge. And fittingly so. I don't always agree with the way my son does things, but you better believe that I would give up my life so his could continue. Number 3, agape. Agape can be defined as universal love, or the love for all people regardless of their location or background. Much as my latest video on compassion and empathy discussed, when you put yourself in the shoes of another person, it is very easy to at least understand them. In ancient Greece, this was defined as agape, or the love for strangers. This is the reason for any form of altruism in the world, from allowing a car to go ahead of you, tell me you're from Oregon without telling me you're from Oregon, to giving your leftovers to a homeless person after a delicious dinner. One sentence that has really stuck with me throughout my life is this: the best place to store food is in your neighbor's stomach. Number 4, ludus. Ludus is a form of love that seems to be happening more and more day by day. This is the flirtatious and casual love found on most dating sites these days. It can be fun and is generally uncomplicated. When you come up to a potential suitor in the bar and say, "Did we go to school together? Because I could swear we had chemistry." This is where ludus begins. It doesn't have to end there, and it can easily develop into another form. I will add that I don't see anything wrong with this. A one-night stand can be a lot of fun and could potentially develop into something else over time. Number 5, pragma. The practical love. A friend once accused me of this. He called me a hobosexual when I moved out of my van and moved in with a lover. If I was to define the love that I felt for her in reality, it was a combination of all of the above, which is part of the 8th form that I will be adding later. In this country, we rarely have arranged marriages, but this is the textbook definition of pragma. When the princess marries a prince so her family can keep peace in the realm, this is pragma. It is important to note that this can develop into every other form over time. If this is part of your culture, don't give up on the future. Number 6, philatia. If I organized this list based on importance for myself, I would have to put this number 1. Philatia is defined as self-love. This can be good or bad depending on the situation. It is very important to love yourself to find any of the other forms. However, philatia can easily turn into ego and hubris. Love yourself, but remember that you are not infallible. You are all that you will have when the lights go out. This is something that I see many forget. I saved the remaining two for last purposefully. They are not only what most commonly comes to mind when Americans think of love, but also I will be getting a little bit personal here. I wanted to make sure to keep the riffraff away from these thoughts. If you are still watching, you deserve to know me. Number 7, Eros. This is often defined as romantic love. If Cupid were to shoot an arrow at you, this is the love that arrow tip is laced with. This is the love that never seems to dwindle. You can feel it in a moment and it will remain forever. I know this because I've felt it twice with two separate partners. One was when I was very young. In fact, I was her first boyfriend. I was around 17 and she was 16. And Cupid hit me right from the first kiss. Because of our age, it didn't really end up lasting, but every time I see her or think of her, it's very much still there. I wouldn't call it painful, more like a warm feeling of knowledge that I keep inside during our interactions. The friendship that has developed because of this undying Eros is one of the brightest parts in my life. Now, I mentioned the other in a previous video, but it hit me very much the same. This could easily be a Hallmark Channel movie or ripped from the pages of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Our first physical interaction lasted for days due to a snowstorm. We were left with nothing but each other for a time. Even if this time was only an hour, I would still feel it. I still do feel it. She brought poetry out of me that I didn't think was inside. She has gone off on her own adventures now, but the feeling will not weaken, nor do I want it to. If either of them are watching this, I love you the very same as when we met. Number 8. I don't have a catchy Greek name for this one, so I will just call it Philia Ludus. I have said I love you to others that were not caused by a poisoned arrow. Sometimes it developed over time and sometimes it was quick. It doesn't really fit into Eros, but this doesn't mean I am forsaking them. This was not a lesser love, it was just different. The unfortunate part is that I am only able to grasp this after the fact. I still love them, I still fondly remember the moments we shared, and I wouldn't change them for the world. I definitely depended on them. One day I will be walking my dog and one of the moments will pop up in my head. This is a feeling that I am forever grateful for. I have those memories to make me smile. Maybe I have blocked out the bad moments, but regardless of why it didn't work out, those out there that I've expressed my love to, just know I meant every word. You made me who I am today, and I will always be grateful for your contribution to my own Philatia. Thank you for watching and your continued support of this channel. I love all of you. Yes, that means you. This channel is a growing tool for me, but if it helps you as well, I am overjoyed. If you enjoyed this video, like and comment. If I earned it, please consider subscribing. If you want to talk to me about love or anything else, check out my offerings on Patreon. Thank you. Memento Mori.